Look, the Nintendo 64 is garbage, okay? And I don't care if you throw me all kinds of shade. I don't care if you throw me all kinds of hate. You're talking about a console that injured people, a controller that was so baffling that you just scratch your head and say, how in the world am I supposed to use this thing? I mean, maybe 6 good games on the entire console.
Jared,
and you're saying that's the best ever?
Well, I'll tell you why.
Oh, tell me about it.
There's a couple of reasons. There's a couple of really great reasons why the Nintendo 64 was so great. So first, the most important thing is it addressed a very uncommon handicap. Now, those of us who maybe when we were kids, played too close to the nuclear reactor and grew that third arm out of our abdomens, finally had a controller that was built for us. That segment of the population with that additional appendage really benefited from that controller. And not only that, Jared, but most importantly, especially today, and I think we can all appreciate this, especially today, we are overburdened by choices. You turn on Netflix and there's like 400,000 different things to watch.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You go to play PlayStation, or there's tens of thousands of excellent games to choose from. Both Nintendo 64.
Well, and you got Game Pass. Yeah, Game Pass on Xbox. Man, you could spend all day trying to figure out what the best to play is.
With the Nintendo 64, just roll a die. Number 1 is GoldenEye. Number 2 is Shadows of the Empire. Number 3 is whatever the third good game is, etc. Because that's the only 2 I could think of. Star Fox, there we go. Star Fox 64 was the third one. And,
Star Fox 64.
And whatever number, just play that one. And there you go. And no burden. You're not burdened by too many choices.
No, and not to mention the fact that it had to have add-ons just to have a rumble feature. Breaking ground there.
We got to talk a little bit about the controller and like how bad the timing was. Because I think I remember reading somewhere that Miyamoto developed and designed that controller specifically just for Super Mario 64. So he didn't think of like how that would work for any other game or any other type of game. He only thought about just Mario 64. And now if you've ever played like one of the modern remakes of Mario 64, or if you played on an emulator, you probably already know this, but 2 sticks is a million times better than 4 tiny buttons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fighting with the camera on any 3D game on that system is such a headache. I played the one Castlevania game for a video on my YouTube channel, and it was just a miserable experience. I mean, I don't know. I know some people grow up with this thing and they like it. Maybe they have nostalgia attached to it, but there's no real redeeming qualities here. The controller makes no sense for most of the games. Most of the games, aren't even that good because I think we all know the story about how the Nintendo 64 basically didn't have anywhere near as many people making games for it, anywhere near as many third-party developers making games for it, because Sony was cutting a much better deal. So rather than develop for Nintendo and buy this incredibly expensive dev kit, and then have Nintendo control every like penny and nickel and dime that was coming their way as a result of the game that you created and got out there, they were getting a much better deal developing for Sony. They were making more money developing for Sony. They didn't have to buy an expensive dev kit. They didn't have to buy cartridge shells directly from Nintendo. They actually had a third party, multiple third parties that you could purchase the blank CD media from. So
yeah, and
it was a big problem.
And I was going to say, it was a big problem. And I was going to say, let's not forget that, yes, GoldenEye was a great multiplayer game. It probably really had the best multiplayer. Best multiplayer on the console. It really, really did. It did go next level, and it actually was better than it deserved to be. But going back a minute, I'm believing you played Castlevania 64, if I'm not mistaken. Is that the one with the level with the nitro and the nitro powder or whatever, and you take one step in the wrong direction and you blow up and die immediately?
I couldn't even tell you because I don't think I even got that far. I got to like level 2, Like, first of all, there's no music. Like, how are you going to have a Castlevania game with no music? Thank you for listening to this clip from the Console Kingdom podcast. You can listen to the full episode right now here on our YouTube channel or on your favorite podcasting platform. Links in the description below. Please like this video and subscribe and enable notifications so that you are notified when our next episode goes live. In the meantime, please check out my YouTube channel, Risky Bitness, right here on YouTube. Thank you, and game on.